dragon bettas are a beautiful fish with a really striking contrast between their body color and their heavy metallic scaling. They come in a variety of coverages, covering both the full body and also really lovely partial coverages. Today I'll be explaining why I love these partial coverage fish, and I'll be spawning them. Dragon bettas, aren't they lovely? Their metallic layer is so thick, it makes the fish look silvery or even white sometimes. They come in a variety of base colors like red, orange, and yellow, as well as the black I'll be focusing on today. What's not to love, right? Well, as pretty as dragon bettas can be, there's a few things to take into consideration. That lovely, thick white metallic layer can easily cover the eyes of the fish, impairing their vision or even blinding them. Sometimes these are actually marketed as diamond eye bettas, which don't do that. Dragon bettas are also more prone to tumors than non-metallic bettas, so it's something to keep in mind. But I'm not trying to insult these fish at all. I love them. They still look really incredible, but it's something to keep in mind if you're planning on spawning them. As a betta breeder myself though, I'm personally more drawn to these partial coverage fish. Why? Well, I really like the contrast of the bodies to the peppered white scaling. It's a look I really like. There are actually different names for different types of coverages. I think samurai dragons are really neat. That's when the top half of the fish has that metallic scaling and the bottom half doesn't, or it doesn't have as much. A black mamba is when the scaling is more peppered around and random, and it's very reduced. I've also seen types where the dragon scaling is only on the head of the fish, and I absolutely love that. It looks like they're wearing a little helmet or a little hat. This is a small female of mine who has the dragon markings just on the gill plate and exactly one scale. Isn't she adorable? So let's talk about what I'm doing today. I have a bunch of fish from a spawn who are starting to grow out, and I would like to move on to my next generation soon. These fish I'm about to show you are from a black mamba type pairing that I did a while ago. And I'll be going over my selection process a little bit on pairing these fish. I've done videos in the past where I walk through my selection process, how I choose my best fish out of a spawn to be my breeders. I'll link to these videos down below. They're worth checking out. They're gonna be more detailed than this one. Like, I also did nice photography for those videos just to go over form. And in this video, I'll just be using stills, like video stills. I'm just doing my best over here right now. First, I'll show you the fish I'm working with. It was a fairly small spawn. I don't have a lot of options. My fish I'm showing are currently jarred as I work to put some size on them and condition them for spawning. Let's start with the males. This is male 1. He is all right. He doesn't have the best form. He doesn't have the smoothest top line here, which I always sort of look at first. He has good color. He's healthy. His dragon scaling is so reduced that he has no scaling on his body. It's just his gill plates. So I wish there was a touch more. Male 2. This is male 2. I love this guy. I think he's a nice fish. He has a nice body, he's healthy. His dragon scaling does cover his eyes a little bit, which is a trait I don't like, but that's something I can try to work on. Male 3, my second favorite fish for his body, and he has a pretty smooth top line here. His dragon scaling's only on his gill plate. I do wish there was a little more. This is male 4. He has some great black color, but his top line's pretty shallow and he's pretty runty. Now the females. Female 1, super cute. She has some strong dragon scaling on her gill plate and one single scale right there. Adorable. Her top line's a little shallow, but hey. Female 2, my strongest female in this spawn, I think. She has pretty good color. She has a nice gill plate scaling right there and a pretty nice top line. I like the curve. Female 3, she's all right. She doesn't have much for scaling though, but hey. Female 4, also a runt, but she's a cute little runt. There were more fish than this, but I'm not considering them contenders for a bunch of reasons, like extra shallow top lines, or a not smooth top line, or even an actual physical injury. Here are the results. I paired up male 2 with my best female 2, but the spawn didn't work out. It sure looks like it worked. I mean, look at that impressive bubble nest. He toiled on this. Get a load of this time lapse. For real, for the amount of time this guy spent on his bubble nest, you'd think he'd be a good dad. That looks exhausting. But it wasn't successful. I think he ate his eggs. Editing Taylor here, that might be fish slander because I'm not 100% sure if the spawning was successful, so maybe fish slander. At the same time, I put this male, number 3, who's my second favorite, with this female, but the male seemed uninterested in spawning, so I didn't continue. A week or 2 later, I tried again. Again, male 2 went with female 2. I also put male number 1 with female number 1 in case my favorite male number 2 was a serial egg eater. Much to my surprise, both spawns were a success. I guess it's a surprise because once a male eats his eggs, I don't really have that much faith in that male not to eat his eggs again. I don't like that. He built his nest up right against the glass, so I was able to get some great shots of him and his fry. They're just about to start free swimming, which is when I remove the male. I didn't get any nice shots of male number 1 and his babies before I removed him. At 4 days old, the fry are tiny. They're like little eyelashes. I feed microscopic little live foods like vinegar eels and microworms at this stage, which are tiny little nematodes that you can culture in diluted apple cider vinegar and oatmeal, respectively. They're for sale on my website, by the way, if you need some cultures. Once the babies reach a few days old, I start adding really tiny amounts of baby brine shrimp to their feedings, but it takes a few days of growth for them to be able to eat something bigger, like a newly hatched baby brine shrimp. By the way, I'll be doing a video shortly about another potential tiny live food for Betta fry, paramecium. That will come up shortly. It's time to try it out. Now the fish are 10 days old. They're still tiny, but they're looking more like baby fish and less like eyelashes with mouths. I'll siphon up some mulm from the bottom, being really careful not to suck up any fry. I'm using a piece of rigid airline attached to some regular silicone airline. I put a flashlight on the top of the tank glass so I can see the fry on the bottom really well, and then I'll siphon out the detritus. One hand is on the soft air hose, pinching it to control flow while I maneuver around fry. Now it's a matter of feeding all of these mouths for a while, and I hope I get some nice fish out of it. For this upcoming generation, I'll be keeping a close eye on the top lines of the offspring, so the silhouette of the back. I like it really smooth. I don't like it to be flat and shallow. I like there to be some curve to it. Just a personal preference. You don't have to worry about it. And I really hope I get some interesting Mamba scaling. Thanks for watching, guys. Please stay tuned to see how this turns out. Check out my website for live foods, and maybe occasionally I'll have little plants and snails up there. All stuff that I grow in my fish room. Expect some more videos from me shortly. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.